Hi guys, in this video we're going to be looking at using the counting on strategy for mental subtraction. Now, when performing subtraction, usually what we do is we start with the bigger number and then we count backwards or subtract or take away the smaller number. However, when it comes to using the counting on strategy, this process is actually reversed. And what we do is we start with the smaller number and we count on, or count up, until we get to the bigger number. And the difference, however much we counted on, provides our answer to the subtraction problem. So for instance, in this case here, what we're going to do is we're going to start at 56 and count on until we get to 98. Now, a lot of people do this using an empty number line. So they'll imagine an empty number line that starts at 56 and will count on until we get to 98. So first of all, what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get the units to match up. So our units here are 6 at the moment. Now we want to try and get the units to equal 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to count on 2 units, which takes us to 58. Now that has brought us a little bit closer to 98, but we've still got a long way to go. But we can say that we've counted on a total of 2 units. Now what we need to do is start addressing the tens. So we're at 58, we're going to count on until we get to 98. So we'll go 68, 78, 88, 98. And there, we counted on a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. So that is a total jump of 40. Which means that altogether, we have counted on 42. So 98 minus 56 is 42. Now, I demonstrated this visually using an empty number line. And this will help a lot of people in the early stages. However, there are ways of doing this without actually using a visual aid. All we do is we start with the units, try to get the units of this number, the smaller number, to match the units of this number, and then do the same with the tens. Try and get the units of this number to match the units of this number. So for instance, I can turn this 6 into an 8 by adding 2, and I can turn this 5 into a 9 by adding 4. And I get the same answer, just a different way. Now, it is essential to understand what counting on actually is and understand the empty number line method of that. However, a more efficient method can be just to count on dealing with the units first of all and then the tens. So let's look at another example done both ways and try to work out which one is more efficient. So in this problem, our sum is 94 minus 67. So we'll be starting off with the 67. We'll draw our empty number line first of all, start at 67, and we're going up to 94. So first of all, I want to change this 67 so we end up with a number where the units ends in a 4, similar to the 94 here. So to start off with, I'm going to count on, I'm going to go 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. I'm now at 74. That is a number that ends in a 4, just like 94 does. In total, at this point, I have jumped 7 units. I've counted up 7 units. Now, I'm at 74. I'm going to have to count on now until I get to 94. And I'm jumping up in tens now. So I go 74, 84, 94. That was a jump of 2 tens, which is 20. So in total, I've counted up 27. So our answer to this problem is 27. However, let's look at this using the other method. So in this case, I'm going to count on until I get to a number that ends in 4. So I'm going from 67, I'm going to count on 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. I counted on 7 units there. However, as a result of that, it changed what the tens was. I'm not at 67 anymore. I counted all the way up to 74, which means that this is not a 60 anymore. It's now a 70. So when I count on now, I'm going to be counting on from 74 up to 94 and count on how many tens we're using. So 74, 84, 94, that was 2 tens. So the answer is 27. Now, I find it useful to actually, if the 10 changes while we're doing this, if we count on past a 10 and change the value of that 10 station, I find it useful to actually score out the 10 and replace it with the new one, as I did here. So I scored out the 60 and replaced it with a 70. We'll do one final example now, both different ways, this time working in the hundreds. So, starting off with our empty number line, we're doing 423 minus 286. So I'm going to be going from 286 up to 423. And we're going to start with the units. Now this will be very similar to before. I'm going to be starting with the units here, counting up 286, 287, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. I'm trying to get something that ends in a 3 because 423 ends in a 3. Now in that case, I've counted on 7 units. Again, this number seems to be coming up a lot at the moment. All the sums seem to be using that 7 just now. Next, I'm going to be counting up until I get to something that now ends in 23. So I'm at 293. I'm going to count on until I get a number that ends in 23. So counting on in tens this time. So 293, 303, 313, 323. There, I counted on 3 tens, which is 30. So I've now got something that ends in 23. Now all I need to do is count up in hundreds until I get to my final answer, 423. And I can see here, from 323, if I count on one jump of 100, I get to my final answer of 423. So in total, I have counted on 137. So I initially started with 7 units, taking me to 293. I then did 3 jumps of 10, which took me to 323. Then I did 1 jump of 100, taking me to my final answer. Lastly then, let's see if this works using the simplified method. So, we are going to start by counting on until this number ends in a 3. So we're going 286, 287, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. In total, I counted on 7 there. And I'm at 293. So this is no longer, this number is no longer an 80. It is now a 90. We're at 293. So going from 293, I'm going to count on until I turn this 9 into a 2. So 93, 303, 313, 323. I counted on 3 tens there, so I'll write down the 3 tens. But this now is no longer a 200, because we counted on up to 323. So this is now a 300, not a 200. So from 300, how much do I need to count on to get 400? The answer to that is 1. So 137. So this is the counting on method done two different ways, one using the empty number line and one just using a simpler version. Find which one works for you, find which one is more efficient, and try using that in your day-to-day working when it comes to subtraction.